there, people, it's Adam here, and we're doing some commenting on comments. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show, roll that intro, and watch it go. What the fuck kind of an intro was that, eh? Alright, our first comment here is from WTBM123 and says, wow, I did not realize you stole that barbecue. I didn't steal that barbecue. There's totally a video on my parents dropping it off at my house. That's actually an early Christmas present. So this Christmas, I wonder if Mom and Dad remember that they bought us that for Christmas. I guess we'll find out in a couple months, eh? If we get spoiled, they forgot. Right on! Mike Miller says, time for a purge of miscellaneous shit, bud. Just pick a corner and start. You'll feel lighter. Seriously, yeah, no doubt. I really need to do a purge of miscellaneous shit. There's a lot of miscellaneous shit here that I don't use that needs to get purged, and that will. Big times. Tommy NC 2010 says, a man that blows my mind. How did you make a solar-powered phone charger? That is insane. Where did you come up with that idea? I don't know. I just got bored one day and I had a whole bunch of... I bought a pack of these, like, you know, those garden lanterns that you just stab in the ground. They got the solar panel on the top and the battery inside and it powers an LED. Well, I had a bunch of them, but the LEDs didn't work, so the batteries were toast. So I basically took the batteries out, threw them in the garbage because they were fried, and then I grabbed the solar panels and I tested one and it came back at 1.5 volts. So I thought, well, if I link 4 of these together, that'll give me 6 volts, and if I drop it down with a regulator, that'll give me 5 volt rail, USB. Maybe I can use that to charge a phone. It works, but it takes forever because the amperage is really low. I need to redesign it, but I never got around to it because I just never bothered. I never bothered finishing the project. Joshua Clark says, have you ever put the Knight Rider light on the Trans Am? It's illegal to have flashing lights on cars over in England. Just emergency vehicles are allowed to have them. I never put it on the Trans Am, but I did have one on my old Ford Tempo. I wish I had a picture of that, because I had the orange one on the Ford Tempo, and I used to drive, whenever I did a tech support call with my old business, that was the car that we used. And that's the car that I use, I should say. And I always had the light going. And there was times when, on my way to go and do a tech support call, people would see that fucking light strobing in the back, and they'd pull over and let me pass. They thought like I was a cop or something. I was like, shit, man, I'm going to get in trouble for this. I never got in trouble for it. However, if it would have been red, I would have got bail. I would have got bagged. Because in Canada, you're allowed to have lights emitting from the front of your car that are orange, white, or yellow. That is it. If you have a blue flashing, I think it's a blue or green. Green, I think, is emergency fire vehicle. Oh, I don't know now. I can't remember. I know I got pinched because I had blue LED lights. You know, on the windshield sprayers, I bought those things from Canadian Tire where it's like 2 blue LED lights in the front and your sprayers in the back. And I had those on my Tempo, and the cops pulled me over and had me disconnect them. Literally, they grabbed wire cutters out of their car and cut them as close as possible to the actual sprayer, the nozzle, so I couldn't hook them back up. And they didn't care about the Knight Rider bar, but they cared about that. So, never put it on the Trans Am because I'm too scared to cut that front bumper so it would fit, because I don't want to wreck the car. But then again, I also don't want to keep the car, so that's kind of fucked. Rick Looper says, hammer the pin out using a punch. The pin has a rib spline on it to keep it in the hinge. I did not know that. And I don't have any punches, so... we ended up replacing it with real door pins anyway, so we're good. Bob Eats says, Lamau, love the drunk vlogging. That shit was funny as hell. Yeah, there used to be a lot of that back in the day. Holy shit. Chutch, it's like, dude, you gotta get hammered and pick up the camera and fucking drunk vlog. And I'm like, no, I really don't. I really don't. He's like, dude, those are your best vlogs. And I'm like, yeah, well, they're not good the next day, you know, and I get up in the morning at 5:30 p.m., because I'm hungover like a motherfucker, and it's like, man, I gotta bang out a video today, and I feel like this? No thanks. Bob Eats Again says, Revolution is downright amazing. I had a terrible flea problem once where you could feel them jumping on you. Been there. Done that. Revolution killed every flea in the house just putting it on the cat. That's what they said was, at the vet, Revolution, when you put it on the cat, not only does it taint their blood, but it taints their dander. So as the cat's running around doing its cat-like cat things and spraying its dander everywhere, it's actually laying down friggin' cat flea powder. So that's pretty awesome. So that's why I got it for Oreo and Scampers. I got to go get Scampers her new dose tomorrow, and Oreo his too as well, and dose them up because yeah, we got to keep these fleas killed. Now that it's getting cold out, I got the house cooled to or heated to 67 degrees. Fleas don't like it that cold. Apparently fleas like it above 72. No. So by keeping it cool like that, it makes them really sluggish and dormant. So it makes it easier to vacuum them up. They'll hide in the carpet and the vacuum gets them every time. Because you bring the bin out to the outside the house there, and you pour it in the bin, in the garbage bin. Like you take the shop vac outside the house and you pour it into the garbage bin, and you can see the little bastards in there all fucking crawling around and jumping and shit. So it works to keep the house a little cooler, and I like it cooler. 62 or 67 degrees Fahrenheit is a good temperature in my book. Jason 8 Danny, was Danny tasty? Says, that would be cool to see your cat close the door. Record it, please. She quit going there. Lately, she'll go someplace, she'll hang out for a bit, and then she finds a new location. Right now, her location is the stove top. You ever tried cooking eggs when your cat's sleeping beside the frying pan? Not easy. Drive Shaft Drew says, good video, buddy. I like the way you do this segment on comments. Right on. I kind of like it too. It's like I could comment on people's comments right on YouTube, but 90% of the time they don't get back to me. So I figure commenting on comments is a great way to get people's comments out there. It's kind of fun. Super Fifth Gear says, Poppy Uppy headlights are the best. Reference to your Trans Am Camaro. Lol. Wish newer cars had them. Yeah, the only newer cars, like I haven't seen any newer cars with them. The Corvette ditched it for static lights. I'm pretty sure all like the exotics like Ferraris and Lamborghinis and other cars that I'll never afford in this lifetime used to have them but got rid of them. Probably because of mechanical failure, you know, like when they break down. Like I know some of them use the vacuum pump, and when you had a vacuum line, like one light would be like boom, the other light would be like meh, like really slips, would be like boom, you know, and it was really ridiculous and stuff. I think the Fiero uses the same motor as my Trans Am. I can't even think of a car that would have vacuum line base. Maybe the 240SX, maybe, but yeah, they got rid of it probably because of that reason. Like it's just easier and cheaper to have a static bulb. Because I know if you drive the car in the winter, they say open the lights up all the time, keep them open all the time, and don't use the motor because, you know, you get ice buildup between the headlight and the body. The motor's not going to have enough power to break the ice and pop the light up, or it's going to have enough power and it's going to strip the gears or something. It'll be a bad time. Telfac Prez says, the price to pay when you fall asleep at work. Good job, Adam. If Bruce was still making friggin' videos, we could have heard his side of the story. Bruce will be making videos again. He's just really busy with shit right now. But stay tuned. Bruce will be banging out videos once again. Sugar Cube says, what does the patch say on your coat? That patch is actually for the union that I'm part of. Soon not going to be part of because I'm not going to be employed there. But it's for my union, which is the steelworkers. Now, a lot of you find that weird. What the fuck is this computer technician idiot doing in the steelworkers? That's the union that we signed on because the other union that was there, like the steelworkers, they take care of the train guys, the refurb department, and the rail because, well, they're steelworkers. We chose them because they're already integrated into the ONTC, and they basically did department classification. The other union we had there, which was the CAW, they were kind of fucky because what they wanted to do was they wanted to unionize the whole customer service region, help desk and customer service as one classification, which means, let's say somebody downstairs with higher seniority than me was about to lose their job, they could then bump me out of my help desk job, even though they know fuck all about troubleshooting or computers, bump me out of my job, take my job, and then the company would have to pay to train them to do my job. But they don't know anything about computers. And with the steelworkers, they believed in nobody can do your job as good as you. So they knew like a customer service rep with no experience in computer troubleshooting can't come upstairs and do our job. So the way it works is like, let's say for instance there was some downsizing happening and they wanted to bump us out and they had to go by seniority now upstairs. But let's say they wanted to do that downstairs. Let's say like the lowest person on the totem pole downstairs had more seniority than me. They couldn't say, well, screw it, I'm just going to bump Adam out of his job and become a tech. They couldn't do that with that type of setup. And that's what I liked, was it was like job security, because we knew this was coming. We knew the company was getting sold. When I started there in 2002, the government tried to sell it. It didn't fly. 2012 came around. The Liberals got in for Ontario. They launched the attack, won, sold the company. Anyway, people, that's all we got for this week's episode, or this day's episode of Commenting on Comments. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, down below they go. I need your comments for my Commenting on Comments, so be leaving them. And until next time, people, peace the frig out.